Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tyria Then, me and Miko's show about Guild Wars. Not Guild Wars 2, not that one. We're not playing that
Not yet.
yet. Um, I am Aaron, otherwise known as Aaron. Look at me introducing myself at the top of the episode.
You're
And
back to your form.
yes, except I did so with bad grammar. I said me and Miko. It
That's
would
all
be
right.
it would be Miko and Eyes.
Right,
Um,
right.
Miko
Ours.
and Miko and my Miko and my show.
Miko and mine.
Miko and mine.
Well,
It
this
is
is the
mine.
grammar lesson. This is the English grammar lesson portion of Tyria then.
It is mine show.
Mine show. Mine show. Okay.
So I think we've established that we are Aaron and Miko.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Here to discuss Guild Wars 1, specifically Nightfall. We are still on Istan.
As why? Because there are a lot of secondary quests, and I did better than Aaron this time at resisting the secondary quest call.
I just kept doing them. It was a Sunday afternoon, right? And I just kept doing them.
Yeah, I know.
And then I looked at the clock and I got anxiety. That's what Nightfall does to you. I have a challenge for you, Miko.
What's up?
Do you remember what is going on with the main plot of this game leading into this episode?
I will have to go back to my notes to remember that we went and investigated the ruins of Farnor, the first city, to find out what was killing the workers in Joknar diggings. And I think that was the last mission that we did.
Yeah, I want to say
we went on a jaunt of secondary quests last episode.
Yes, because I want to say in episode 1 we created our characters and we did some secondary quests, and then in episode 2 I think we did more secondary quests, and then in episode 3 of Nightfall we finally did the plot, and I think we talked to some people at the Astralarium and they mentioned Nightfall, and then Kormir was like, I too know about Nightfall, and men have died at Jokinder Diggings.
Yeah.
And then we went there.
Yes. But actually, we didn't find out about Nightfall. That was the first time that we hear Nightfall is in this episode.
They have so do you remember there was a quest?
Takora.
Yeah, I do. So Takora is a thing here.
Yep.
But I do remember a quest where we were talking with Milani. Milani found out about Nightfall. She heard General Kayet talking about it. And she brought it up with us.
I don't even remember. Yes, okay, yes. It's coming back to me now.
It's part of my...
The haze of secondary quest is lifting, and I'm remembering that this actually happened.
Yes, it's part of my vivid memories of Zelon Reach that I'll never forget.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So we got tipped off about Nightfall, and then Kormir sent us to go see what was going on at Jokinder Diggings, and I got obliterated by... What's that guy called? The Apocrypha, like 6 times. Before so Nightfall got me, everybody.
Right.
And now then we did a whole bunch more side questing last episode.
We did.
Which was an extravaganza, and then I kind of went down that same route this episode. Miko kept it a little more dialed in, and now we're entering into the main
story.
Yeah, we're entering into the main plot of After Jokinder Diggings, with a quest called
Black Tide Den.
Well, a mission called Black Tide Den, but a quest called
I was
getting
excited.
Yes.
I was getting excited because of Latenda Bog.
I don't care for Latenda Bog, but I'm glad somebody likes it.
Yeah. I don't know why I have fond memories of that place, but I do. And I can't really remember why. I just know that I liked it, and so now I walk in there and I'm like, this place is a freaking maze. Why did I like this place?
Yeah, it's one of those mazes that's not only a maze as you're like walking through it, but as you look at the mini map, you can't tell if something is walled off or if you can get through.
Yeah.
And I don't care for that.
It's the tangled depths of Guild Wars 1. I think even maybe worse than the last map that we said. Was that in factions that we were like, what is this shit? It's
in that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few maps like that, and I think Latenda Bog is definitely in the running. That's a place we spent a lot of time in this episode. Starting off, before we get into the main plot, There was a few quest chains we didn't do last episode, and there was one that I didn't finish last episode. I have an update for you on the assault on Beckner Harbor from the Scale Hordes.
Oh, yes, the scale that were like owning you. What happened?
Yeah, so I played through every scrap of content I could get my hands on this episode, and then I went back at level 18 with level 18 heroes. And it was still really hard.
Dude, did you seriously say that you're level 18 now?
Yes.
Dude, that's what doing all the side quests does. I'm like 16 and a half. I'm gonna have to get on my train here.
They're like 1500 XP a side quest. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll insert some footage here of basically me going into this assault on Beckner Harbor mission and just like going berserk for like 5 solid minutes. It was like John Wick if John Wick died twice and then was resurrected by Donkoro and had a scythe. But
Okay.
yeah, it was good. And we got two new heroes this episode. So I got them up to like level 16.
Nice.
So yeah, my party was just a lot higher level, so I was able to clear that mission finally. But I still died like a couple times. Still really hard. And then, as you mentioned to me last episode, and it made me groan, there's a follow-up quest to that assault on Beckner Harbor, and it is a master difficulty quest.
Did you pursue this?
I did, yeah. Did you visit an area called the Metani Keys?
I did. It was sort of unavoidable this episode.
It was, because there's a primary quest there. Did you pick up some shells?
I did.
I did too. There's a quest called, what's this
Trade
thing?
relations.
Yeah,
trade relations.
Yeah, I didn't actually write this one down because I was like, well, that quest may as well not exist. Because you can just do, if you have other things you're doing in Metani Keys, you could just do this quest on the way.
Yeah.
Basically, the village elder wants you to pick up shells because the Vabians want to buy shells.
Yes. They think that they're really, really interesting and they want shells to trade with. And he's like, why? They're all over the beach, but whatever. If they want some, maybe we should sell them to them. And
by we, he means I'll get a Sunspear to do it.
Yeah. And he wants 20 of them.
Yeah, and they're everywhere, and I believe they respawn.
Oh, do they? I don't know, but I know that they're everywhere, and generally, some of them are alone, and some of them, have fun things like scale hanging out around them, or pop up mobs of mandragore.
Mandragores. Yep, mandragore. Yeah. Is it plural with an S or just mandragore to refer to many?
I thought we were done with the grammar portion of the episode. I don't know. I would say mandragore, mandragora. Are we? Is that our Harry Potter? What do we know about mandragore from Harry Potter?
When you yank them up out of the ground, they scream.
That's right. They scream.
The Guild Wars version does not do that.
No. It will pop up out of the ground though.
It will, yeah. And you'll get a bounty from a Sunspear for killing them, and there will be one group nearby, and then you'll never find another one.
Yeah. I think I found 2. I was like, thanks for this bounty.
Yeah, Metani Key is a very pretty area. It's like a sandy, like sandbars kind of in like a coral reefy type of environment.
Yes.
It's very cool. Unfortunately, there are almost 0 interesting quests here.
Yeah. The elder, when you do turn in the shells, he says that the shells are really pretty. Why didn't he notice this before? And maybe it was the fact that someone else has put kind of importance on them that made him see them differently. And I'm like, sure, because now you can make money off of them.
Yeah, and you hand them into him and you get experience, and there is no follow-up.
Nope.
So that quest is, unless you want some XP, that quest is a waste of your time. Like if you are just out to have fun, don't do this quest. We did it for science. Don't be like us. I was drawn here because we had that Lone Raider quest in our logs from last episode.
I did not have it in my logs. I just told you about it.
There is 3 goddamn quests in this quest chain.
I know. I checked the wiki first, and then I was like, I'm not picking this up.
And they are all the same quest.
Uh,
So the first quest is that raider went through town and they got to go chase him down because he's a corsair.
right.
And you meet this guy named Raylon outside, and he calls the corsair, quote, a nasty little man, which
Okay.
is just juvenile, so it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go kill
Yes.
that corsair, and the corsair is labeled a sneaky corsair, and he runs away from you,
Why?
obviously.
That's the game being judgy.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the quest log says kill him before he gets to his boat. Spoiler alert. If he makes it to his boat, he will wait patiently for you to come kill him. He will not escape. This quest is unfailable.
Right.
So you kill him, and then, by the way, Raylon survives this. He does not survive the next quest.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so the next quest is a follow-up to that quest. You turn it into the Elder. He's like, thank you. And then he's like, there's more Corsairs nearby. You need to go kill them. So I go out with Raylon, and I kill the Corsairs. Raylon dies. And I don't know if the game canonizes this, because he doesn't show up for the next quest, or if that's just how it works. I don't know.
Right.
But him and his friends are only like level 10, so I was like, I don't know if I can protect you. Fun side note, if you guys remember Jotaro Musagi from last episode.
How could we forget?
Yeah, the most interesting thing about this quest is that the Corsairs that you have to go kill, they're hanging out by Jotoro's wrecked ship. You can tell because there are blocks of jade in the shallows with the ship.
All right. Well, there you go. Guess he's not getting home.
Yeah, no, his ship is done, but we got him papers last episode, so it's all
That's
good.
Right.
And then that is followed up by a quest called Corsair Vengeance. Spoiler alert: there's even more Corsairs, and spoiler alert: you've got to go even more kill them. So you do that, and then you talk to the Elder, and he says thank you. The whole quest chain is just go kill Corsairs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not interesting.
Yeah.
I gave it way too much. I gave it way more time than I had initially wanted to. When I was looking at this quest in my notes, I was like, I should just not even talk about this. But we got like six minutes of material out of it. So.
Oh, there you go. I mean, it's for science.
Yeah, I'm really bad at keeping time. That was probably only
It's
like
all right.
a minute and a half.
Yeah.
An interesting quest that I did in this area, I'd say, is maybe the follow-up to the assault on Beckner Harbor quest, the Scale War quest chain, as I like to call it. This quest is called the Cyclone Palace.
Yes, that has an interesting name. I remember seeing that on the wiki and thinking, okay, what is this Cyclone Palace?
Yeah, it's a master quest because it's in the Scale War saga. And
is that what it's actually referred to in the wiki? Is the Scale War saga?
That is what it is referred to as in my brain, because that's what it felt like, a saga.
I can get behind that. All right.
Yeah. So the Elder at the village, Beckner Harbor, is that a village? It's a harbor.
It's a harbor. Yeah.
He basically says, okay, thanks for defending us from the Scale, but they're being mind controlled by a leader out in the Matani Keys. I don't know how this guy knows this.
I was going to say, like, how do you know this if you were not leaving the confines of your little harbor here?
I don't know if he's some sort of very powerful mesmer who can sense when mind control is happening or something like that.
Right.
But I go out there on this very dubious tip-off, and there's probably like 20 level 4, like, so low level. You know, like that group of low level Scale that's at Farner, the first city, that's just milling about?
Yes.
It's like that. Like, there's just like 20 of the really low level ones, but they're like lined up in a skirmish line, like military ranks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how you know they're being controlled, right?
I was going to say, are they practicing to go to war?
They're just kind of standing there.
Oh, okay.
Game doing some visual storytelling. And then there's a bunch of those really nasty frigid scales, the level 14 ones.
Yeah, hate them.
And then
hate them.
Yes, and they are what makes scale encounters kind of difficult. And they are guarding a level 19 or 18. I have level 18, but I have level 19 in my mind's eye, so I don't know which one it was. Scale leader named Lord Jerpa.
Lord Jerpa.
Yes, Lord Jerpa, the mind control leader of the Scale. I believe he was an elementalist. And he hit pretty hard. Bosses do double damage per factions and Nightfall rules. So he kind of gave me a run for my money. But I wiped the floor with them. and I got like a fat XP reward because it's a master quest, and then
Right.
the village leader was finally like, okay, I think that's it for the scale.
Well done.
Yeah, that's the end of the quest chain.
All right.
I don't think I did anything else interesting in Matani Case besides the primary quest that we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay. You, I want to say, did a quest that I also did called Leap of Faith.
Yes. I picked this up last time out in was it the Cliffs of Dojak?
Yeah, it's on the at the top of the winding path out of the quarry before you come into Black Tide Den.
Yes. And you pick it up from the leva because this is, yet again, friends, this is a romancing quest.
This is a romancing game at this point.
Apparently, yes. We should just be calling it Dragon Age. You find the couple, Bayron and Sare, or Sarah without the H's.
I wasn't sure, honestly. I was gonna just let you go for it. I was saying Sare.
Sare.
But that can't be right?
Yeah. I think they tried to go for Sarah, but we're trying to make it interesting. So Bayron and Sare, they are Bayron is trying to convince her to run away with him, and she's telling him no, basically, because she can't defy her father.
Classic dilemma.
Classic dilemma. And
because he's a lowly stoneworker, so the father has forbade it.
Right. He is that is correct. Yeah, the father doesn't think that the Bayron here is worth his daughter's time. So you have to go out to find the dad, whose name is Dulls, and he's hanging out outside of Beckner Harbor, and essentially try to convince him to let Bayron and Sare, live their lives and live happily ever after.
Now, when you say try to convince him, how much agency does the player actually have in deciding how this quest plays out?
Zero. Yeah, zero. You talk to him and he's just like, never. He's that guy is not good for my girl, and she's basically he's basically calling her a tramp. I mean, for lack of a better word. Yeah, no one's gonna marry her now because she's gone off with Bayron and he has defiled her, and I have to go and defend her honor, even though she's a tramp.
Yeah, he pulls off his glove and slaps us with it right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And so you have to go out, escort him to them so that he can, challenge Bayron to a duel. Because he still wants to have this chivalric code or something or other.
Like it's 1734.
Apparently,
and we're like the officiate. We're like a Sunspear officiator.
Yes.
And we have no option to try and stop this duel from. We have no option to try and find an alternate way.
No, we don't. They're gonna duel regardless.
Sarah you cannot stop them from dueling.
No. And Sarah tells him, "Don't fight my dad. Dad, don't fight him. I love him. And Bayron, don't fight my dad. He's my dad, and I'm gonna protect him." So spoiler alert, Sarah is a monk, and when her father takes damage, she will heal him.
She will not heal Bayron.
She will not heal Bayron, which is kind of messed up.
What did you do?
I did nothing. I witnessed the duel.
So I did the same. I stood there and watched.
You stood there and watched, and I was like, maybe Bayron's gonna be able to pull it out. Maybe he's got a heal skill he can pop. Oh no, apparently he's not going to.
Well,
maybe Sarah will pop a heal off on him just because she feels guilty. No, she never does.
The crazy thing is that all three of them go hostile to you. Their names turn red.
Yeah, I noticed that Sarah turns hostile after the duel is over.
Yeah, and I was wondering, can you just kill all of them?
I think you can.
And what good would that do?
I think if you assist, I don't know if the quest dialogue changes. It must.
So you could kill the father and give her no choice but to be with Bayron.
Yeah. Yes,
even though she clearly makes her choice, she's like, I'm supporting my father. I just want you to know that before you fight him to the death.
Right. Yeah. And apparently you can kill her as well.
That's wild. Who do you turn the quest into if you kill all of them?
I don't know. Let's see. The wiki is I'm scanning the wiki as we go here because um if Sarah dies and neither Baron or Dolls have turned friendly yet, both Baron and Dolls remain hostile, forcing you to restart the quest to finish it. That's always fun.
Oh, so you just get a quest failed.
Yeah.
And you have to. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense actually.
Yeah.
That is disappointing though, because I was hoping there was like an alternative way for this to play out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's weird that you can even kill her, and then they both are like, "No, you killed her." And then the dad calls you a murderer, which I'm just kind of like, "Bro, what?"
I mean, in that context, he wouldn't necessarily be wrong.
I mean, true. And then if Bayron lives, he basically gives you the request reward and says, "I hope she'll forgive me one day," but it was the only way to resolve a conflict. And I don't know if she would have given you any dialogue, because I did try talking to her after the duel was over, and of course I witnessed the duel to the end, and because she heals her father, Baron dies.
Yes.
And she's just like,
loses.
Yes, he does loses in a big way. And when you talk to her, she's like, "I can't talk to you right now. I'm too upset." Or something to that effect.
Yeah, and when you talk to the father, what'd you say his name? Dolls is his name. That's
Dolls,
the worst name.
yeah.
Don't name someone Dolls. DALZ.
Yeah.
That's terrible. He says that hopefully she will forget Barone in time, and that he was truly unworthy. Like, he won't stop dissing this guy even after he's like skewered him to death.
I know. Yeah. And you know how we've been talking about how they just throw in random H's? I'm wondering if Baron is actually Baron.
It like, very well could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly don't know.
I don't know.
I think you. How are you saying? Were you saying Saray for her name?
Saray.
Saray. That's got to be right. I think you're right with Saray. Yeah, you're better at these than I am. I found that quest to be guessing. That quest is wild. Like, the fact that you just stand there and watch is an option. I thought for sure like, they were gonna like put in a solution, like a peaceful solution of some sort.
Right, that you'd be able to like convince him somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've played. This is a very oft used quest format in like RPGs. Where like you have it's like the Romeo and Juliet style thing, right? And plenty of games have done multi-solution versions of this quest.
Yeah.
And so I was very surprised that this one is just like, yeah, I mean, they're going to fight. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, wild quest. Very crazy.
Very, very crazy.
I did one quest that I'm not sure if you know about it or not. Did you ever take a quest? So we've had new quests coming up as we complete like missions and level up and get new Sunspear ranks and stuff. These are all things that like gate new quests. I stopped by Kamadan because I needed to do something, and I saw that there was an exclamation mark over the Die Trader's head.
Oh.
They've got a quest called To Die For.
Oh, I did that one.
Have you done this one? Have you talked about it on the show already?
I think I did. You just go out and find a box, and then the dye trader's like, "Here you go. Here's some dye, and thank you for bringing me my ingredients," or something like that.
Yeah, it's what the swamp flowers are for in Zellenrage.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went and did that. Free random dye. I got a blue.
I got a red.
What did the red sell for?
I have it in my bank still because I hoard dyes as well as hoard a lot of other crap.
The blue got me a fat 160 gold.
Hey, nice.
But it didn't get me nearly as much money as what I went to Kamadan for. And I wanted to give a shout out to one of our commenters. Because all the way back in like one of the early Prophecies episodes, I had identified a piece of gear that had a Prodigy's insignia on it. And I didn't know about this insignia, so I just sold it to the merchant. And we had a commenter that was like, "Hey, dude, that insignia was worth a lot of money.
I remember you saying this.
Yeah, so I identified a piece of gear this play session and it had a Prodigies on it. And I remembered that comment. And so I salvaged it and I took it to the rune trader. Guess how much money the rune trader will pay for a Prodigies insignia? 11,000 gold.
What?
Yes.
11 platinum.
Yes, 11 platinum is now mine because I got a Prodigies insignia.
Very nice. Well done.
So shout out to the Tyria then commenter that made that happen for me. I appreciate
this is why people, if you are watching our episodes and you like our content, hit that bell, right?
Yeah.
Get notified for our next episodes.
How else are you? Yeah. How else are you going to be able to grow my account wealth if you don't hit the bell? Okay.
Right.
Very important. Yeah. Just that was more about the Prodigies insignia and less about the die quest.
Yes, that's okay.
Apart from all those, it was pretty much main plot cruising until I got to Blacktide Den, which has a whole heap of quests
I
to do.
avoided those.
I
tried very hard. Thank you.
Oh, wait. But what quest did both of us end up completing this play session because we were sick of not having it done?
Feast of Boca.
Yes, we got the Feast of Boca done.
I finally got an Aboga petal, a second Aboga petal to drop. And now, of course, they're dropping for me, like normal. And I'm like, thanks.
Right, and you got like 4 more after that, and you're just like, well.
Yeah. I finished my quest.
Yeah, it's funny because after I did the whole play session, I saw that quest in my quest log, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking do that. All I needed was the chunk of Drake flesh. So there's 2 Drakes that spawn right outside of Champion's Dawn. They're like level 10. And I'm level 18, so I'm like, I can just go solo these guys over and over again until I get this.
Yep.
It took me a good like 10 or 12 runs of respawning and going back and killing them to get a chunk of Drake flesh. But yeah, I was able to get it done. Not that interesting of a quest conclusion. The guy just goes, hey, thanks. The prince will really like all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, this scale fin soup is like a month old.
I like his line. He says, I will be like unto a god of cooking. You're a culinary genius. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, dude, this is a hunk of like dry Drake meat, like just cooked over a fire, no seasonings, nothing.
Yeah.
So this is like eating rope. But,
yeah, and then there's the iboga salad that makes you throw up, and the scalefin soup, which I can't remember what the scalefin soup. I think that was.
The scalefin soup is relatively normal. I actually didn't pay attention to what the collector for the Drake kebab had to say. But I do have a fun collector that I met in the, what's that bog called? The Latenda bog?
Latenda bog, yes.
Yeah, as I was wandering around there, I met a collector named Chormar, and he wants mandragora swamp roots, and he says he likes to eat them in a sandwich with termite legs and iboga petals.
What the hell is happening in Estani, man?
And that he loves the way they, quote, skitter on the way down.
Oh, God, that's just way too vividly described.
And, quote, the way their legs crunch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's all real dialogue that someone at ArenaNet put in that window just to gross me out.
I will say that that's pretty amazing writing, though.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of...
Whoever you are, a ArenaNet developer who wrote that, I'm going to take my hat off to you.
It's visceral.
It's very, very good.
Yeah.
And also very disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, no, absolutely, without a doubt. A very highly unpleasant man. I did not buy any of his things.
No, yeah. I would not either.
And with that disgusting transition, we can kind of rail on to the main plot of the game, because that's kind of what the main play session was this episode.
Yeah. Yes.
There's after the Jalkaner Diggings mission, you spawn in Kamadan, I want to say. And you start, First Spear Divad is like right over there, and he's got an exclamation.
He does.
And what does he need us to do?
He wants you to go and chase some escaped skeletons that got out of the first city after you went in there and killed shit. or killed undead.
Yeah.
And so
they're roaming the countryside, Kryda style.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no, this is bad. You need to go and stop them. Otherwise, Kormir's gonna get in trouble."
Yes.
Basically. I like how we're having to clean up Kormir's messes.
I think that's why Kormir hired us. She was like, "You're very good at mess cleaning up."
Yeah. Clean up the mess is the quest objective.
She's like, "You're very good at going and doing things that I need done that are supposedly very important, but that I'm also not coming for."
Right.
Oh, I think she does come with on Joking Her Diggings though, because I remember thinking, "Oh wow, she's level 20." So she does. She does some stuff.
I mean, yeah, some stuff. She mostly stands around and talks.
Yeah, we're hoofing it for the most part. Like we're doing the legwork, right? And then she comes along for the big bust, right? For the press conference,
right? Exactly, takes all the thunder.
That's all the credit. Kormir has a reputation for this. I'll see.
She does.
I'll see how much I agree with it as we play through the game, because I don't have the best recollection of like Kormir's point-to-point involvement in the plot.
Right.
But I'll be judging from the sideline.
Yeah.
I'll be keeping score.
I mean, it is. Yes. We do know that it is a meme.
Yes.
Out in the community.
Yeah, it's a well-known complaint about the character Kormir, mainly due to how the game concludes. But we do have to go meet a scout named Narashi. She is investigating, the kind of tracking down the escaped undead, and she's got like a little group with her.
Yep.
They're in the cliffs of Dojok.
This is the if you guys remember in Prophecies, we had the gang. This is essentially the Nightfall gang.
Yeah, and Rogus was a guy that he was the guy that was
to go and re-enlist him.
Bad at farming.
Right.
He was the guy that pretended he didn't know what the Sunspears were. And then there's a new guy named Atok, which I don't know if he ever comes up again, but the third person with them, Lonai, she comes up again.
She does.
She's like a quest giver later. She's like a person that matters. I think she's in Guild Wars 2 also. That might be a spoiler.
If she is, I don't remember. But you might be right.
I'm pretty sure she is an undead minion of a certain individual. But
oh, right, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
And when we get there, Narashi says the undead... I thought this was a funny way to put it. Narashi says that the undead yearn for life, which is why they attack human settlements.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Good. That is good.
Rather than like being a mindless zombie that just wants to eat brains, they just want to be alive again.
Take pity on them.
No, I didn't. I smashed them to pieces with a scythe.
No, I know. Yeah.
Did you notice that the Corsairs and the undead are not hostile to each other?
I did not
sus.
Notice that. No, that is very sus. I think later on it becomes more apparent. But at this point in time, first of all, the undead were kind of, when I ran up, they were already attacking Narashi's group, and Narashi's group was actually not doing well.
Did any of them die?
No.
Yeah, but, the undead are only like level 10.
Yeah.
They're just the guys from Foreigner that we fought already.
Yeah, they were taking a good amount of damage, and I was like, you're higher level, you're level 20. Why do you need us?
They're level 20, 0 skills on the skill bar. Actually, I did notice Narashi has an elite skill. So maybe Narashi has 1 skill.
She's got like 4, and then Troll Unduent.
Well, Atok is throwing. Then they need to get a new teammate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So, so she, you go and save her group, and she's like, "Hey, thanks. There's some more that went in that direction. Can you go and clean those up?"
She literally says they went that way.
Yeah, literally went that way. And that way is in the direction of the Isner Isles.
And so you go there, you kill them there, and then you go to the Matani Keys, and you kill them there.
Yeah. So all told, what do we have to kill? Like 8 groups?
Yeah, I think
in total?
there's one group in Cliffs of Dojok, there's 4 groups in Isner Isles, and there are 3 groups in Matani
Matani,
Keys.
yeah.
And then we got to go back and talk to Devad again, because
Yes.
apparently he's our boss, even though I think we're higher rank than him now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when I'm doing this, I'm rank 5 captain, and then I'm rank 6 commander by the end of this.
I didn't actually check what my rank is.
Well, we were both captains last time, so you're probably at least
Yeah.
captain.
I would hope so.
And Devad...
Seeing as how I didn't take all of the side quests, you just said I'm lower level.
That's true. Yeah, you might still be a captain. I've made it up to commander.
Nice, commander.
Yes, I have. I'm the Guild Wars 2 main character at this point.
Nice.
Nice. And I've upgraded my Resurrection Signet to Sunspear Rebirth Signet, because now that I'm like ranked up in Sunspear, that's actually a better option.
Yeah. Have you noticed if the skill guy in Sunspear Great Hall has anything else for us now that you're a higher level?
Yeah, he so the hero, are you talking about the hero skill guy or the regular skill guy?
Both. And
I didn't check the regular skill guy. I went back to the hero skill guy because I wanted to look at monk skills.
Okay.
No option for monk skills for me.
Oh.
I did like a quadruple take because I was like, it can't be. I looked through that list of professions he's offering like 4 times. I did not see the option to look at monk skills. Maybe I unlocked all of them and there's no more.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I could have sworn he had some monk skills.
I might have just grabbed them all when I went on that rampage a couple episodes ago.
Oh, right.
And spent like 10k gold getting very crappy skills for my heroes.
Right.
Still regretting that, but I gained that back with the Prodigy insignia. Prodigy? Prod. Prodigy.
Prodigy, yeah.
Couldn't handle that one.
That's okay.
Once we talked to Devad, he tells us that Elder Sewell, who I don't know if we've talked to Elder Sewell before yet.
I don't think we have, no.
He's like the governor of Canada.
Oh, Canada.
He's like the mayor, yeah. He's upset and he blames Kormir for the undead getting out. Right. Devad also mentions that a boat just rolled in from Cantha with members of the Zacian Order. Yeah. What is the Zacian Order?
So they're followers of Balthazar.
Yeah, they just like to fight.
They just like to fight. Yeah, they like to kill things. It's what they do.
They are the like kind of lore reason for why the PvP area exists in the game. Battle Isles is where the Zacian Order are. This is probably the most Zacian interaction we're going to be getting throughout this playthrough. Yeah. I don't think they really come up again outside of PvP. They're cool though.
They are cool. Yeah.
They look cool,
but they do. So Elder Sewell, we basically have to go and appease him, because Kormir's in trouble.
We have to appease his bureaucracy.
Yeah, he was gonna drag Kormir in front of the council to answer for her bad choices.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say crimes, but her poor decision making, maybe.
Yeah.
At least what he perceives as poor decision making. Undead rampaging through the countryside isn't good, to be fair to Elder Sewell.
No. So we have to go and meet up with General Yurukaru, right, of the Canthan delegation.
Yurukaro, yeah, and Field General Hayao. But the main leader of the Zacian is General Yurukaro. Yeah. And a guy named Sea Marshal Bendro is there too. He's like the Kormir of boats.
Right. Yeah, and so we have to go out to the Sun Docks to do this little mini quest. It's not, I wouldn't even call it a full quest. It's like a little side note, even though it's a primary quest. We've got to go close 3 ruptures, 3 chaos rifts. I think this is our first introduction to chaos rifts.
Yeah, the Zacian guys show up, and Yurikaro like kind of fills us in as to why they're there. He's like, hey, we're the mortal servants of Balthazar. We're very cool. We're very good at killing things. She mentions...
We're here to help you.
Yeah, and the way this dialogue is presented is weird, because she mentions the dark events at the tombs of the primeval kings.
Yeah.
This is an area we did not go in this playthrough.
No.
This is also an area, if you are a Nightfall character, you may not know anything about, right?
Mm-mm.
But they just drop this name like you're supposed to know this. It's kind
Right.
of, yeah, it's kind of dissonant.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, that was an area in the Crystal Desert that we didn't go because it's kind of like an end game farming area. And
Yeah.
we're not about that on this show.
Right.
So, yeah, that's kind of what Yurikaro is bringing to the table is like, hey, this Nightfall shit that's been going on here, that kind of resembles the same type of bad shit that was going on in these tombs over in the Crystal Desert, which is basically just northern Alona anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Alona's right underneath Tyria. And she says what we faced in Farinir was a long-forgotten evil.
Mm-hmm.
They speak of its ability to transfer through mind connection, not unlike a certain scale lord that I dealt with earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
And that it is called Nightfall. So she uses the word Nightfall explicitly
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yes.
And they
yeah,
want to speak to Kormir, and that's when the attack happens.
Right. And I like that she says the one you call Kormir knows this. We must speak with her. And then what I found really interesting is that they said, "Can you not feel it? The very air crackles with malignant energy. The smell is terrifying." So she's like been exposed to some crazy shit.
Yeah, some like real eldritch terrors.
Yes. Yes.
some Cthulhu shit. Like Yurikaro has seen it.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, and they somehow know that Kormir is aware of all this. I don't know if there's been like ripples through the ether that they're aware
this
of.
This is a Canthan delegation, and they're talking about the Tomb of the Primeval Kings, which is in Tyria.
Yes.
And then they sort of has like a little side note. I fear your presence means that everything's begun in Cantha and Tyria as well. So it's like, well, were you just hanging out in the Tomb of the Primeval Kings because you're Zacian and you like to fight? Or why are you in Tyria?
So I believe, because we skipped this area, but I used to do this Tomb of the Primeval Kings content back when I like first started playing Guild Wars in like 2006.
Yes.
And I believe the storyline there is in fact that the Zacian Order is trying to penetrate the tombs to fight the evil there. So I think that is on, like, it works.
Okay.
They're not like Empire of the Dragon Canthan. They're Zacian, so they're from the Battle Isles, which are technically in between Cantha and Tyria.
Right.
If I don't have that geography right, feel free to correct me in the comments. Just make sure you hit the bell first.
Right.
So I think it is technically Cantha though, because if you look at all the Zacian people in the game, they all have Canthan names and stuff like that, and their armor is very Empire of the Dragon. But clearly they're attuned to something that we're not, right? Because they're like, oh, this is happening everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So clearly they have info we don't. Clearly they know somehow that Kormir is like the person to talk to for this. I didn't see any of the dialogue that like explicitly said, hey, we've been in contact with Kormir. But maybe there was and I missed it. But it seems like they just know. And yeah, these nasty little portals open up and they're like black and purple.
Yes.
This is in Camadan.
Yes. This is in Camadan. So, but yeah, like I said, this is the first time that this is our introduction to the Chaos Rifts. And so I was like, ooh, I know what they are. But it wasn't very difficult to take out their minions.
Yeah.
In this little mini quest.
Yeah, they spawn some demons called Grasps of Chaos and Scythes of Chaos. These guys are from... So, again, they mentioned the Tomb of the Primeval Kings earlier because that's what these enemy models are from. These are much scaled down in level, but they're like level 12 or something in this mission. Whereas the ones you would find in the actual endgame content are like level 28.
Right.
Yeah, they're super easy. I'm massively over-leveled for this content at this point. I imagine you are too.
Yeah.
I think I'm like level 16 here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you burn through these pretty quick. The portals are just like these big black purple things, and you just wail on them, and they go away. I don't even know if you have to kill the portals directly or if they just go away
I think they just go away.
when you kill the enemies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then they let me see where we are. Kormir and Yukoro, after you kill the portals, they start discussing like in earnest Nightfall and the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yukoro's just like, Kormir, you got to come with us. And she just does.
Yeah.
She just leaves.
Yeah. Yeah, well, her reasoning is that, I've got to see if there's something else that I can learn from elsewhere to help save Alona. That's her reasoning.
So she's going off to do her like Christian Bale Batman training.
She's going to go and do some research.
Yeah, she's going to go read scrolls, and she entrusts the running of the kingdom to the rest of the Sunspear Order. The kingdom. The running of Istan. And she this reminds me a lot of how in The Hobbit, how Gandalf just fucks off all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're like, hey, before you go, what is this Nightfall that everyone keeps talking about? Hi, we're not in the know.
Yeah, this is our character that asked this directly. They're like, before you go, fill me in.
Yeah. And she doesn't really say anything. She's just like, it's an old legend, a prophecy of the end days. If we act swiftly, we can avoid that fate. But she doesn't really actually tell you anything about what it is. She's just like, I trust you, carry out my orders, and remember, you never fight alone.
Yes, it's like the Sunspear motto.
Yeah.
Never fight alone.
And I'm like, thanks, Kormir, for just avoiding the question.
Oh yeah, she totally blows you off. She does say it means it's the end of the world, but she's like, well, it's kind of the end of the world, but it's going to be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And so that's like extremely ominous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Yurikaro says she's going to leave a couple Zacian people to help defend Istan.
Yes.
So that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Field Marshal Hayo and a couple Zaicians stay behind that are going to join our party.
Field General Hayao and a couple of his students.
Yes, and we'll be talking to him later to get one of those students to join our group.
Yes.
As a homie.
Mm-hmm.
And that concludes the kind of quest. I would say the plot of the game really starts in earnest in Jokin or Diggings, but this quest kind of escalates the plot a little bit past that.
A little bit.
Now we're officially under siege by demons.
Right.
And we've got this name Nightfall not just as like a whisper in the background, but as a firm thing that Kormir is looking into.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got this man from the Zacian hanging out. We've got First Spear Devad has a new quest for us. Kormir's gone, right? Who's going to lead the Sunspears? So now we have to have a chit chat with Devad and figure out what Kormir wants us to do.
Yeah. Yep. So we find out that Devad says, well, she wants the acting Spear Marshal to be, is it him that tells us this?
Yeah. He says that she's naming some guy named Jarek.
Jarek is going to be the acting Spear Marshal. And you've got to go and break the news to Jarek.
Yeah, and what he basically has to say about Jarek initially, Jarek doesn't sound like too bad of a guy initially in this first conversation with Devad. He's like, yeah, he's more of a diplomat, like more of a by the book
scroll tender.
Yeah,
like that phrase.
Whereas Kormir's kind of a firecracker.
Get her hands dirty,
right? Yeah, kind of an upstart. So we got to go deliver the orders to Jarek that names him as Spear Marshal, or acting Spear Marshal, rather.
Right.
But he's like, hey, you might want to go talk to Castellan Puba first, because him and Jarek used to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also need to go talk to Field General Hayao to discuss, like, the general state of things.
Right.
Who did you go talk to? I think it directs us to Hayao first.
It does. And Hayao is like, well, I could see why the Spear Marshal trusts you. You fought pretty good there, kid. Why don't you, and then if you talk to him, and I think it's if you accept the Zacian Elite quest, which he also has to offer.
Yes, there's a side quest he has called Zacian Elite.
Which is it's sort of a side quest that's important.
You
'Cause
should
it's like,
not skip it.
no, this is not a skippable one, friends. You definitely want to do this one. It's not very long. He's like, I was impressed by your skills. Maybe you want to join the Zation. I don't know. Just saying. Why don't you go and train my 2 students here that I've brought along? Go and see what you think of their skills. And then maybe, if you want, you can have one of them train under you.
Maybe if you want, you can have one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you like him, you get to keep him.
Yeah, pretty much. So your choices are Acolyte Jin, who's a ranger, or Sosuke, who is an elementalist.
Is he a direct Naruto reference?
Yes.
He's even got a headband.
I mean, the headband kind of gave it away.
And he has the hairstyle, right? Like with the 2 dangly bangs in front.
Yes.
I think he does. Yeah, he's a direct Sasuke reference from Naruto.
He is. He's very anime pilled.
Yes, there's a few anime references in this in this playthrough. Who did you choose?
I chose Sasuke.
Okay, I chose Jin because I have Sasuke on my main account, so I was like, I'll go Acolyte Jin.
Yeah.
I think you can get them both at some point, but I think I've only got the one. I never went and got the other one on my main account. I've got
both of them on some of my characters, but not all of them.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever bothered to pick up the other one. I think I've always just been like, yeah, one will do me. So yeah, I've got Jin hanging out with me. Basically, we have to go fight both of them at once, and we just wipe the floor with them. To kind of like quote assess their skills, and then we pick one to like go do a ritual with that involves fighting a ghostly Balthazar man.
Yeah. Out in where?
Zellenreach. I thought I was done.
Zellenreach. I know.
I really thought I was done.
No. Just when they thought you were out, they pull you back in.
They really did. Yeah. He basically has us, after we finish training with them for the first time, he's like, hey, to earn this person as your pupil, you have to ally with them now. So we beat them up before, and now we have to fight with them to defeat one of Balthazar's Eternals. And he's like, one is waiting for you in Zellenreach. I'm like, I guess the Zacian just have the power to make this happen, because it seems like a weird place for a Balthazar Eternal to just hang out.
I mean, the map starts with a Z. Maybe that's their connection.
Right. Balthazar does have one Z in it.
And his name, yeah.
Z for Zelon. Yeah. Are you trying to say that all the gods' names are acronyms?
I don't know, man.
What do the rest of the letters stand for? On the spot. Go.
No, I don't know. I'm making stuff up. That's all. It was totally like, not even like trying to connect the dots. I was trying to be funny. Aaron, thank you for ruining my joke.
I'll do a 48-minute lore video on what the acronyms of each letter of each god name
Oh my
means.
god. Okay.
No, I won't do that. It's not a promise. It's not happening. No. It's an anti-promise, if anything.
Yes.
So we do go out there. And by the way, I think we skated over this a little bit. But when you beat up Jin and Sasuke, there is a conversation. There is a cutscene, and this is another cutscene where I seriously doubt both voice actors were in the same room together.
Jin, Acolyte Jin.
What is it, Sosuke?
What do you think?
Of what?
That Sunspear leader, of course.
Nice moves. Has potential.
Yeah, Jin is like, don't talk to me, and Sasuke is like really eager to talk to her.
Sasuke has the goofiest eager beaver voice acting.
He does. Yeah. He's like, boy, that Sunspear, they're gonna go places. I want to learn from them. I hope they pick me.
He talks like a child.
He talks like a Naruto character. And Jin is just like, yeah, I hope they pick you too, because then I won't have to listen to you anymore. And then she just like walks off.
See, and I am not familiar with the Naruto English dub because I've never actually watched a single episode of Naruto.
It's all right. I
Um,
judge the Naruto. The Naruto. I'm sorry for any Naruto fans out there. It's one of those shows that I just judge mentally.
However, but the next hero we pick up,
Yes.
I recognized her voice from the
Oh.
many, many anime credits that she
Many,
has.
many.
Yes. So we'll talk about her probably in just a couple quests.
Mhm.
So yeah, they have a little conversation, and it's very funny.
Mhm.
And then I went and I met up with Jin to take out this Balthazar Eternal, and he's got 2 big ass griffins with him.
Yep.
It wasn't very hard.
No.
He's a cool looking guy. He's got he's like a ghostly plate mail man.
Yeah, he looks like a Tarai Asa almost. That's the vibe that I was getting.
He looks like that dude. Do you remember in the second episode ever of the show where we did the bonus for the Great Northern Wall, where we had to bring that guy's armor?
Yes.
It looks like that guy.
Yes.
For the 4 people listening that remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it is that guy.
I don't think it is.
No,
It could be. You know, maybe he's with Balthazar now.
Right.
I won't rule it out.
Mhm.
Once we do that, we kind of get to take them under our wing. We get our hero's backstory from several different sources. Like Hayo tells a little bit of it. Jin herself tells a little bit of it. Did the same thing kind of happen with Sasuke?
I honestly was trying to just play through the content and wasn't actually paying attention.
You didn't pay attention to our boy?
No, I will at some point, but it wasn't today.
Well, Acolyte Jin, her backstory is that her family, it's actually really funny. When Hayao is telling you about her, he's like, yeah, her family was killed by monsters when she was young. And I just think it's such, in a fantasy world context, it's so funny to have a world where it is a normal thing to say someone was killed by monsters. Because like in our world, monsters like your 5-year-old thinks there's a monster in the bed under the bed,
Right. Yeah.
But in this world, you're just like, yeah, her parents were killed by monsters when she was young.
Right.
It's just funny.
Yeah,
And she kind of taught herself to be like a crack shot archer. And she's very reserved and introverted, but she's a strong fighter.
Yeah.
So she's very edgy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's Jin. Yes, she is edgy. Whereas Sosuke is a bit of a goofball, which is probably why I like choosing him, other than the fact that I always make him a fire elementalist and have him blow things up.
So do you think Sosuke's appearance is a Naruto reference and Jin's name and personality are a Samurai Champloo reference?
I don't know that it's a Samurai Champloo reference, but I wouldn't put it past Arena Net.
Definitely not. I don't even remember what it was before, but we found like an almost certain one like before in Kanto,
We did.
I think.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Something to do with the Luxons, I want to say.
I want to say that.
Kurziks and Luxons, that was it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so you never know.
Yeah, and Sasuke is just a bit of a goofball. He's always like cracking jokes.
Oh, does he say things? I guess no. The heroes do say things. Yeah, they have
They do
blurbs
say
over their
things, yeah.
heads. I'm always in
Yes.
melee, so I'm never reading those.
Yeah, I never usually read them unless we're just standing around, and then I happen to look up and I'm like, "What are you saying?"
I just like that they start playing the drums and like air electric guitar out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They just
My boss likes to dance a lot.
they do it immediately, like
Yes.
as soon as you stop. They do. There's no like wait time. There's no downtime for these animations. They just start rocking out instantly.
Yeah.
Minutes after like having her in my party the first time, Jin was like playing the drums.
Nice.
Very out of character for her if you think about it.
Yeah,
So now they join our party as a hero,
they do.
and they're lower level than
They do.
everybody else because we did so many side quests.
Yes, they're like level 11 when you take them on under your wing.
Yeah, I managed to quest mine up to 16 by the end of this episode.
I think mine's 13.
That's pretty good. I mean,
13 or
13's
14, yeah. 13 or 14, I forget.
I for some reason had some memory of like needing to be high level for Black Tide Den. Black Tide Den is not very hard.
No.
Like
No.
11 is fine. really.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
say I struggled a lot more with Foreigner or Jockner Diggings than Black Tide
Right.
Den.
Yeah.
And we've just got like one quest chain until we make it to Black Tide Den.
Yeah, it's after we've picked up our acolyte to be our little Padawan, we have to go and continue on the plot, which is where were we? Bad Tide Rising.
We gotta go talk
and
to
then
Castellan Pooba.
We have to say right, Castellan Pooba. It says right. Yeah, Jarek. Let me tell you about this guy. He's in a bad mood because he was passed over for promotion. Good luck.
He basically says that,
says that
he takes out his anger on people that Kormir favors.
Yes. So Pooba thinks that Jarek's not going to like us.
Yeah, so now I'm like, Jarek's not a nice
right.
guy.
No.
And he lives out in the Isner Isles.
Right. Yeah, he's farming as well.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
That's what they do.
And so we find him, and what does Jarek do when you walk up to him?
He's like, "Oh wait, you are coming for me? Kormir sent you? No, you're gonna have to prove yourself."
He immediately attacks you.
Immediately turns hostile, and you gotta like fight him. He's like an air elementalist.
Yeah, he immediately attacks you, no hesitation.
No.
And I'm like, okay, if the game would let me, I would just kill him right here.
Right, yeah.
Because that's just not how you greet someone.
No, it's not polite.
Especially, this man was billed to me as like a pencil pusher. And so the last thing on the planet Earth I'm expecting as I walk up to him is like a lightning bolt from the heavens to strike me.
Yeah.
So yeah, right off, I don't like this man.
Mm-hmm.
And after the fight, he says that the Corsairs have been gaining unprecedented strength while Kormir has been, not quote, but he basically says dicking about with the Nightfall situation.
Right.
And that we need to refocus on the Corsair issue.
Yeah, so he's going to like take advantage of the fact that Kormir is not around to whip the Sunspears into shape.
And essentially consolidate power.
Right, pretty much.
He's like, he basically openly states like, yeah, I'm planning on permanently being the Spear Marshal.
Right.
He's going to try his best to smear Kormir to the Council of Elders and secure the position for himself permanently.
Yep.
So right away, I'm just like,
This is a bad idea. Who decided this? Oh, right, Kormir.
Yeah. And when we return to Pooba, he basically says, yeah, you're gonna need to be careful because Jarek tends to be really petty and really pedantic.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a stickler for rules. He likes abusing rules to punish people, right?
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that'll put you on latrine duty if he doesn't like you, right?
Right. Yeah. He's
that
like,
just
kind of keep... Yeah, and he's just like, keep your head down and your nose clean and just try to keep things under control until Kormir's back.
So naturally, we go and get involved in a conspiracy with an upstart priest of Lyssa.
Well, but Jarek makes us.
He does, yeah. We kind of sell him on the idea. He like talks himself into letting us do this. It's really weird.
Yeah. So the next quest is called Big News Small Package, and Talcora shows up, and she is from Vabi.
And we've seen her before.
We saw her at the end of Jockner Diggings. She was eavesdropping on General Kayet and War Marshal Varesh. Yes.
I've always said Varesh. Varesh sounds
also
more legit, though. I don't know.
I think they say Varesh in the game, though, don't they? Varesh also.
I like Varesh better, so let's roll with Varesh.
I like Varesh, yes. So so she was eavesdropping and she heard them mention Abaddon and Nightfall, and so she hears Talcora trying to get Jarek to listen to her. And Jarek's like, yeah, whatever, kid. You're just trying to smear people by bringing false accusations. We're not going to be having any problems with the Cornins. I don't need to be dealing with you. And then he spots us and he's just like, no, you can deal with her. Go and keep her occupied and out of trouble and out of my hair, basically.
Yeah, there's some pretty good writing here in terms of like steering Jarek's motivations, because this is like happenstance. We're just showing up for orders, and he happens to be having this conversation with Takora when we walk up. And then he's just like, "This is stupid. I know what I'll do. I'll delegate this, as all commanding officers should." Right? It's very in character for him to dump this off on us.
Yep.
So we're now in charge of following up on Takora's information. And she does not join our party yet. We need to meet her. And
in the Matani Keys.
Yeah, in the Matani Keys, because that's where she said that she saw, that's where she said that she saw it, right?
Yeah, which I didn't remember it was Matani Keys. I thought it was in a building.
I did too, and I thought it was weird. This whole thing is weird because she's like,
Yeah.
"I'll take you to where I saw it happen," and I'm like, "Okay, they're not gonna fucking be there anymore," right? Like, it's been God knows how long. So
I know.
You think they just stand there and talk? Like,
Talcora's logic and her ability to follow logic is a little bit childish.
yeah. I have a note about how childish this quest chain is. Because I had a suspicion about it that turned out to be incorrect. It just turned out to be very juvenile writing.
Right.
We'll talk about it as we dive deeper into this quest.
Well, and Jarek dismisses her, right? He calls her a little girl.
Oh yeah, he's super dismissive.
So this kind of like plays into that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we meet Takora in the Matani Keys, and we find that, spoiler alert, the general's not there anymore. It's like, what do you think? He just lived here? Like, come on.
Yeah.
So Takora suggests we look around for clues.
Yes.
And since it's a video game, we find one.
Right. We find two. And before we even get that close up to it so that you can even see what it is, Talcora's got like Legolas eyes of the elf and can tell exactly what it is, and tells you about it while you're off fighting Scale.
She notices it from very far away. Yeah.
From very far away, that there's like, oh, look, it's a scroll piece, and I think it's actually a map piece. And also there's a bag of coins.
A bag of corn and coins.
Corn and coins. I'm like, you're like way the hell back behind me because you're a monk. What?
What I find so poor about the writing in this section is like a map fragment and a bag of corn and currency is like a Looney Tunes version of evidence, right?
Yeah.
It's like they were having this conversation and they were like, you know what, we'd better leave behind some clues so people investigating us know exactly what we're up to. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just comical how they're sitting on the beach right next to each other.
Yeah, they're just out there.
Yeah, it's video game logic, but it's very funny.
Yes. And so, your character picks it up and decides to take this back as evidence to Jarek, who quite rightfully laughs in your face. Like, what, are you serious? You come to me with this? This isn't even anything close to being evidence.
Well, because my first thought, because I'm like a person who indulges in fiction, right? I watch shows,
Sure.
I watch movies, I read books, I play games. A map and a bag of currency left on a beach, that's a setup. Like, in any story, that is a setup. You are supposed to find that. You are being worked, right?
Right.
It turns out that's actually not the case. It's just it's just sloppy.
Yeah. So
Jarek, I have in my notes, Jarek mocks us for finding nothing but a torn scroll.
Yeah, and he's like, which you ripped into pieces and made it even worse.
He's a huge bully. Like, he's an actual
really
asshole.
He is.
He lazily orders us to follow up without any additional resources. So he's cutting off our resources, but he's having us follow up.
And also, he's having us follow up on stuff that he thinks is ridiculous. And I'm like, why are we following it up then?
Yeah, right. I was like, dude, I'm your best guy. Like,
yeah. And he's just like, I don't care. That little kid is annoying. Just keep her out of my face.
We are assigned a babysitting duty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are to watch Takora, make sure she doesn't get into any more trouble, make sure she doesn't ruffle any more feathers with her
And
questions.
so what he does is he makes her an honorary Sunspear. And I was like, this is like giving the kids on the plane the pilot's wings.
Or giving giving a kid one of those like toy sheriff's badges.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He almost when you're reading it in his dialogue box, I'm imagining him like using his fingers to make air quotes when he says honorary Sunspear.
I was like, do we have a badge to put on her chest as well?
Yeah, I've
It's
got
really bad.
like 30 of them at this point. Take all my battle
Yeah.
commendations.
Yeah, seriously.
Takora, you can wear them like one of those officers' pocket protectors.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
sure that's not called a pocket protector, but I don't know what it's called.
It's okay.
And then, so now that we've got that quest done, I believe Takora joins our party now, right? One more?
Yeah, no, I think we do get her unlocked on this one, right? She's the required hero.
Yes, she's the required hero for
for-
this quest.
Yes.
I
so
didn't
this
actually write
unlocks her.
down in my notes when she joins the party.
Yeah.
But I believe this is the one because I believe she is a required hero for the Following the Trail quest, which is next.
Yes, she is required for following the trail, and we are following the trail in Cliffs of Dojak, trying to find more cryptic map pieces, which only she can apparently decipher.
Yes, only she can. So, and I'm a little lost on what the nature of this map is.
No, and why it is that we're killing Corsairs for it.
Yeah, so
Other
because
than the fact that they always steal stuff.
when we find it, they're like, this is a map that points to a location in Latenda Bog. And then so I think I've got this straight. I think
Okay.
I understand how this works. So then the other 5 Corsair captains that we find on this quest have a map fragment, but they all
Yes.
have to meet up to put it together so that they
Right.
know where to go. Okay. The
Yes.
way it was presented in like the written text was confusing the hell out of me. But I got there.
Well, yeah, well, Talpora is like, oh, good, they have to go meet up with Kayet. That means that they're just aimlessly walking around. We can get to them first before they all find each other.
It's a hell of an assumption. I mean, it works out because it's a video
And
game,
it works out, yes.
but it's a hell of an assumption.
Yeah, and I'm like, kid, what? Okay. So here we go.
So I
And
think
we find these little 5 groups of Corsair thugs and stuff, and they each have a named boss.
yeah, and I think this is what confused me because I have in my notes that the quest dialogue says that the scroll points towards the cliffs of Dojak. And so then I'm thinking, okay, does the scroll tell them where to meet each other, or does the scroll tell them where to meet Kayet? And I don't know if that was just like a flub in the
I think
in the
it's
writing.
supposed to be. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be that they. Yeah, you're right.
I could be missing
originally-
something. I could be missing
I think
something.
it's Jarek is the one who says that the paper points to the cliffs of Dojak.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Um,
just an oversight because we only have one scroll.
I'm wondering because Jarek is a jerk.
Jarek the jerk,
if
as he's
Jarek-
called behind his back.
Yes. Yeah, he's got an extra E in his name. I'm wondering if he recognized what the little part of the thing is and was trying to get us off in the wrong direction, or maybe trying to get us in the right direction to find the stuff.
I suppose the scrap
know.
of map we have could have 2 dots on it, right? But
Who
then
knows?
wouldn't only the possessor of that fragment know to go to the cliffs of Dojak? How would the other ones? I don't know. I have questions.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying is I have
Yeah.
questions. It's
we have to
not
go and
worth
kill-
discussing anymore.
No, but we've got to go and kill 4 other groups, right? Because we already have one piece of fragment.
Yeah, and they've all got
So
a
for-
named guy, like you mentioned.
Named guy, so you're like, okay, Corsair, named guy. They weren't here before. We've been in Cliffs of Dojak a lot.
Yes.
And so then a cryptic scroll piece drops every time you kill one of these. You're like, okay. So we have to trek all over the Cliffs of Dojak, and then finally, to get the last piece, the quest log tells us where to go and who to look for, which cracked me up.
And what was this guy's name?
The guy's name is Captain Mindbay. Yes, his name is
Mindbay.
Mindbay.
He's
Yes.
a what's that called when you're attracted to somebody based solely off of their intelligence? Sapiosexual. Do you think he's a sapiosexual?
Wow, you were able to pull that out. That's awesome.
Mind bay.
Mind Bay, yeah. Mind Bay is actually lazy Bay, because he doesn't like to fight. He's just like, let's just negotiate.
Well, here's
I
the
don't want to
thing.
fight.
I think he's the mind bay because he's a smart guy. He sees my level 18 ass walking up. He's just like,
He's
nope.
level 16. Yeah, nope. So he's like, okay, I'll make you a deal. Let's trade, and I'll trade you my piece. All you gotta do is go talk to my boy, who's just conveniently located in Black Tide Den, and it is the quest NPC that you turn your quest into. And what is his name, Aaron?
His name is Savage Noonbay.
Savage Noon.
That's a hell of a name.
It is.
I'm glad they're bringing back some of the good names because that's something I've
It
been
is good.
sorely missing since Prophecies.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. So far, so good. We're getting better.
And
So yeah.
and once we
Mhm.
get through that conversation with Mindbay, because he's basically like, "Hey, I'll give you the map piece,
Yep.
or my man Savage Noonbay will give you the final map piece for the location if you let me off the hook."
Yeah, don't kill me.
Yes, and so my character, does it give you the option to kill him or let him go, or do you have to let him go?
I think you just have to let him go.
Yeah, because you have to talk to Savage Noonbay to enter the. That's such a ridiculous name.
No.
To enter the mission.
Yeah.
And then there's a cut scene when we enter the mission outpost, I want to say.
Yeah. But I can't remember what it is now. Do you
This is
remember?
where we hear Takura's voice for the first time.
Oh yes.
And
Yes, yes.
I was like, I've heard that before. So I go on the wiki and I look at who else she voiced in Guild Wars. She voices, this actress's name is
Everyone.
Carrie Walgren.
Harry Wellgren, yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
voices Gwen. She voices Kaith. There was another person, one of the heroes.
Shahai the Cunning.
Yes, later character. And I was
The
like,
other character, yeah.
none of those voices are what I recognize her from, though. So I pulled her
Mhm.
IMDb.
Yeah.
She's in everything.
She is in everything, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about this person. She's a very
Really?
well known. Yeah, she's a very well known voice actor.
I know. Yeah. I'm surprised that you didn't know her.
I did not know, and then I saw that she has about 1,000 anime credits, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah. She's in everything. She's
Yeah.
in everything.
yeah, she's one of like the big 5 anime people.
She's like she's like the equivalent of Steve Bloom. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I didn't know about
Yeah.
her.
And she's also in Samurai Champloo. Uh-huh.
Of course, yes, that checks
course
out.
she is.
Because ArenaNet seemed to be loyal fans.
That's right. Yeah.
Probably ended up in Naruto at some point too.
Maybe.
And then once that cutscene is done, well, I should probably talk about what was actually in the cutscene because it's not just
Yeah, we
it's
probably
not just Takura showing up and going, "Hi, I'm voiced by Carrie Walgren."
That is what it sounds like.
It's
right
an
now.
actual story. It's an actual story segment.
Yes.
We find ourselves in a bog. We're like slapping at mosquitoes and stuff. It's unpleasant.
And she's not bothered by the mosquitoes though, which I thought is where we were going because she just keeps like whacking at herself, and she says it's so muddy.
Yeah, we're like in deep Louisiana. Like we're in the bayou.
Right. That's right. And she's complaining about the mud and not like the midges.
Yeah, we need one of those hovercrafts with a big fan on the back.
Mhm.
We need one of
Yes.
those.
Yes.
It's like gator country that we're going
It
through
is.
right now.
It is. Yeah.
And we spot some Cornin troops patrolling the swamp, which is like
We do.
that's like not okay, right?
No.
And the captain of the troops orders them to kill any trespassers on site. Period.
Yep.
Like the end, just kill anyone who's not us.
Yep.
So that's bad, right?
Yep.
And then we get teleported into the mission outpost, the Black Tide Den.
Yeah, because our character says we've got a real problem right now because the Cornins are here and they shouldn't be. So it isn't just about following Kayet. There's more. The rest of them are. Why are they here when they should have left by now?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? And that's why we're
It
going
is,
to
yeah.
have to slaughter a
Going
group of
to the bog.
Corsairs and put their clothes on.
Yes.
Which, if you think about actually doing this, their clothes would be covered in blood, right? And
Yeah.
then you'd be putting them on, and you'd look
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yes. Unless you use magic spells.
Which I most certainly didn't. I used a
I'm
giant
not.
scythe to cut them to
Yes.
pieces, and then I put their clothes
Yeah.
on, and
Yep.
magically all the
Yep,
blood
yep,
was
yep.
gone because this is a T-rated game.
That's that's right. Yes.
Now, when you get into this outpost, you do talk to Savage Noonbay to get the quest reward.
That is right.
And he has a little bit of info for us. He's like I've referred to him here as the mission start NPC because nobody is on a podium anymore.
No, they've lost their podiums. They've lost their soapboxes.
The
Yep.
days of the soapbox have come to an end, unfortunately.
Yep.
He basically tells us that Kayette has been funding the Corsairs for like a long time.
Yes,
She gives
a
them
long
money,
time.
and they plunder and bring back more money. And that's
And
like,
the reason why Nunbei would know this is because he is a Corsair.
yes, Nunbei is a Corsair because he is the right-hand man of Mindbay, Nunbei and
Yep.
Mindbay.
Yep.
Maybe they are each other's bay.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but yes.
Not to be confused with Nundu Bay, which is a mission that we're going to be doing later in the game.
Yes.
With the mission,
Mhm.
you probably just jumped right in, huh?
I did after forming my party. Yes.
I looked around the outpost and I saw that there were a bunch of quests to do.
I had seen that there were a bunch of quests to do, but I was trying to stay on pace since I was playing catch up.
There is one important one that actually
Oh.
adds context to the mission itself.
Oh.
It's a
And
chain.
what might that be?
It's a 2-quest chain. It's called Defender's Choice. It's from
Okay.
Guard Kovu in Black Tide
Okay.
Den.
Mhm.
And he basically tells us that a band of Corsairs that are led by, and this guy's name is also amazing, Arid the Unready. Which
the unready.
I don't know
Okay.
how you become a commanding officer with that moniker, but
If you're unready, yeah, seriously.
that sounds like a not good guy to have in a leadership position. And we
Yeah.
prove that here in just a moment.
Mhm.
He's spotted near Foreigner, so we actually have to exit out
Oh.
the north end of Black Tide Den to go to Foreigner, the first city here.
Uh-huh.
We got to go basically ransack his crew until we find him. So I just hack my way from Corsair crew to Corsair crew until we find Ered the Unready. And he is unready. He's absolutely alone. Does not have anyone with him. I just thought that was a nice touch that they named him that and they followed through with the gameplay.
Yeah.
And we have a choice to interrogate or kill him, like with dialogue. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm a curious person, so I chose the interrogate option.
Okay.
And our character asks him, "Hey, man, tell me about the Corsairs." And he's like, "I'm not going to tell you anything." And then I punch him in the face. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like this got nasty real quick. So I'm torturing this man now.
Right.
And he still refuses to talk. He tells me I hit like a girl. I should have been like, "Let me introduce you to Milani. She's got a scythe." But I didn't. I instead, what did I do here? I threatened to cut out his tongue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my character's kind of a hard ass.
Yeah.
And then he spills the beans and he says that he and his crew were supposed to meet someone named Iron Fist in Latenda Bog.
Okay.
Now, having done the mission, you probably recognize the name Iron
I
Fist.
do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I go tell Guard Kovu this, and he gives me a quest reward. And then he has another quest. And he's like, now that we know the Corsairs are meeting in Latenda Bog, we have this Iron Fist person's name. We need to go to the bog to retaliate. And I'm like, cool, this actually sounds interesting. Let's investigate.
Yeah.
That's where this quest kind of fizzles out. They just have you kill 5 Corsair groups, and then that's the end of the quest, and there's no more.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's an exciting build-up, isn't it?
Yeah. It would have been cool if they had tied it into the actual mission itself.
Yeah, because it is a tie-in with the mission in that Iron Fist is a character in the mission. But I think that is a quest chain that they meant to have more for, and it got cut. Because they were like, he's already in the mission. Whatever. I would even dare say that those were supposed to be primary quests.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because they add mission context. I won't harp on the other quests too much. They aren't that interesting. Some guy's mom ran off. She has like Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that. And she runs off into the swamp. Spoiler alert, she does not survive. It's not a good place for moms to run off into.
Is this the follow-up after this quest?
No, this is just miscellaneous quests in
Okay.
Black Tide Den. It's called Wandered Off
Gotcha.
Again from a guy named
Oh,
Rotu. Um,
okay.
we just go find his dead mom, and then we kill some
Oh,
Corsairs in vengeance. And after you kill them, Rotu admits, he's like, I don't really have any way to know if those were the guys that actually killed my mom. And I'm like,
but less Corsairs better.
dude, I've killed like hundreds of these guys.
Yeah.
I literally don't care.
Hmm.
And then there is a quest called Down on the Bayou. And I gotta
Right.
lead this. It's another lead the Vobian scholar around while he looks at shit
Oh
quest.
no.
Yeah, it's another one of those, and it's pretty long. You gotta take him through like the whole zone.
Yeah.
He's got 5 places he wants to look at, and he doesn't even really
Uh-huh.
say anything interesting. He's
No,
just
they
like,
just go up and they meet the little star and then they carry on their way. It's really annoying.
yeah, like we find, those heads from the Cult of the Stone Face?
Mm-hmm.
We find some of those, and he's like, wow, I wonder why there's heads here. Like, it's
Like,
not.
bro, we saw them in Ceylon Reach. John did past several of them.
He's not much of a scholar. Yeah.
No.
So I escort him around, and then I get the kick in the teeth end of the quest objective that says escort him back to the Black Tide Den.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cruel.
Well, so the quest was kind enough to loop around, so it wasn't too
Uh-huh.
cruel, but it was just
Oh,
more
okay.
time than I wanted to spend doing that.
Sure.
There's a quest called Cryptology from Necromancer Musée.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's kind of interesting. He says
Yeah.
the Sunspear crypts have become disturbed, and the dead are refusing to speak with the Sunspear necromancers.
Oh.
So they've got to send like the top necromancer, whose name is Lassie, and she's being sent to try and soothe the spirits. Now she's real good at talking to spirits, but she's not so good at defending herself. So that's where I come in.
Right.
And we have to. And when you spawn into the instance with Lassie, she's
Mhm.
like, you're here to babysit me, but to my old eyes, it would appear that you are the baby.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like some Matrix Oracle type shit.
Sure.
But I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I am here to babysit you though.
Right.
We get her to the crypt, and she's like, okay, I'm safe with the spirits. Go away. And she gives me a quest
Oh.
reward, but then it's actually not go away because there's a follow-up quest.
Right. Right. Of course.
Yeah, she basically says that she talked with the spirits, and a bunch of like rowdy child spirits like disturbed them and annoyed them.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we gotta go around with a torch and like lead them back to their resting place. It's not
Oh, okay.
no combat,
sounds
pretty
like-
easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that second one sounds like another quest that's I think in prophecies or pre-searing in the Ascalonian catacombs.
There's
maybe?
a lot of so there's some ghost
Leading
leading.
sp-
There's a lot of
Yeah.
spirit leading in prophecies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Particularly in
Okay.
mission bonuses, which still give me
Mhm.
nightmares to this day.
Right.
And I think that was the last one I did. You kind of lead them back, and everything's good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, don't think I did anything more than that. So yeah, not super interesting quests at the Black Tide Den.
All right. Well, that's good to know. But you at least got some XP out of it.
Yeah, ended up at level 18 after all said and done, which made the mission fairly doable. But did you find the mission difficult at level 16?
No.
No, it's
Not at
pretty.
all.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy
Yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
So you talk to Savage Noonbay, and he gives
Yeah.
you that final bit of the intel so that you know where to go.
Right.
And then you kind of hop in, and I think Takora is required, right?
She is. Yes.
But we have plenty of room in our party at this point for all of our heroes, which we have
Yes.
5
got
heroes
8.
now. Yeah,
We've
we have
got
5 heroes.
and it's an 8-person party, and life is good.
Which henchmen are you taking now that you have 2 monk heroes?
I am taking not the necromancer, the mesmer,
Mm-hmm.
and the ranger.
I got Jin, so I don't need to take the ranger. So I'm taking, and
Mhm.
you have so you don't need a paragon.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm taking Paragon, and then I'm taking Harta, the Earth Elementalist. But you have
Yeah,
Sasuke
I-
now.
I've got Sasuke, and he blows things up. And because I'm on my full account, he's got an elite because I gave him a build, and he's rocking double dragon, which is really handy.
Does it feel like revenge after?
Oh yeah,
after
it's great.
factions.
Yeah. It's great. He'll cast it on like the melee. If I'm getting attacked, he'll cast it on me, and basically things just die.
So he's
It's
like
great.
pretty good at how he uses it.
Yeah, pretty good.
Damn, they really
Yeah, it's a
upgraded that hero AI in
yeah,
like
it's
the later days
it
of
is
the
a
game.
I know. Yeah, it's a build that I've had saved and I've run on my Sasuke heroes for a while. Yeah, it's a good build. I enjoy it. And Talcora, I gave her what did I give her? Shield of Regeneration? Is that a monk skill?
Shield of Regeneration is a protection skill.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a
Healing Breeze
protection
with
skill.
armor.
Yes. So I gave her a protection build, and I gave her that
Nice.
with I think like a hex removal.
Do you have
Because-
do you have a skill on your account called Zealous Benediction?
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Highly
Maybe.
recommend for Takora if you're running
I
protection.
think I
prayers.
might. Yeah, I think I might have it on her. Maybe.
It's
I'll
good.
have to look.
It's like a big.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few protection prayers skills that does like a big heal.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna look it up because if I see the icon, I'll know.
I used to run it on my monk a lot.
It's an elite, and no, I don't think I do have it. I don't recognize it. I might have to go find it.
Well, I remember where it is because I was a monk main. You can capture this skill in a mission called the Codiner Crossroads. That is
Yes.
a few missions down the line.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there are several good skills in that mission.
There's a few bosses, so yeah, you can capture some
Yeah.
stuff. And I need to do so much skill capturing this playthrough because I have no elite skills for any of these professions that my heroes are.
Oh man, yeah, you're gonna need to repeat, I think. No?
Yeah,
Or
I'm gonna need to pound the pavement. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
Do some footwork.
yeah.
So once we spawn into this mission, immediately we need to kill a guy named Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Yes.
And he's kind of like standing right over there, like just to the left of
And
where we enter the mission.
I still managed not to see him right away.
So I kind of did the same thing. I even had the wiki map pulled up, but
Same.
the wiki map is very confusing, and
Yes.
more the Latenda bog map is confusing.
Yes.
Because the wiki shows you
Yeah.
exactly where to go, but I keep looking back at my mission map and not being able to place what I'm looking at.
Exactly.
So yeah, I struggled a little bit with the navigation on this mission.
Yes. Same. But and this speaking of bonus objectives, this mission has one.
It does, and it's pretty bland, and I
And
don't know why it
also-
exists.
Exactly. I was like, what? So the bonus objective for this is to kill some ringtail monitors, 5 of them.
Why?
And I'm like, why are we clearing out Latenda bug of 5 ringtail monitors? Now, if it was like 50, okay, maybe. But 5? What? Why? Are they bothering us? No.
Why are we doing like exterminator work on the side?
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't understand how they're related to the objectives of the quest, but okay.
I think ArenaNet had a directive for Nightfall that were like, hey, we're doing the factions master reward thing, but we're also bringing bonuses back. Hey, you, make bonuses for 20 missions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
then
someone
just
had
check
someone
off the list.
yeah,
Sure,
and
do
someone
this
it was
one.
coming down to the wire, and someone was like, kill 5 of these, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bonus is to kill 5 Urinkal monitors, and they're way off the beaten path.
Yeah, they are. Fortunately, you can kill them pretty quickly and then come back. And once you kill Iron Fist, you take his clothes and to disguise yourself as a corsair.
Which I will say, the clothes look cool.
They do.
The attack animations for Scythe do not.
Oh.
So I don't get to do my big spin attacks anymore. I just kind of lamely swing my scythe with like hammer animations. It
Right.
sucks.
Right. Well, you can't give yourself away as a dervish, I suppose.
That's true. Yeah, I can't have like sweet skills with a scythe as a corsair.
Yeah. And the hilarious part of it is that when you're running around, you come up, the Cornins are everywhere pretty much, and they're blocking paths, and if you interact with them before you've killed Iron Fist, they're like, turn around, the path is blocked, you need to go and head to safety.
They give you like a halt, citizen type of thing.
Yes. It's too
Gotcha.
dangerous here. Go back home.
Well, at least they didn't
Um,
kill you on sight like their officer ordered them to.
Yeah. It was very strange. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
So, but
didn't run
once,
into that because I did manage to get to Iron Fist first.
right. Yeah. And I had to find him. But yeah, so I found the Cornins first. And so once you get your disguise, the captain, Bezos,
Jeff
he
Bezos, the captain of the Cornin captain, Jeffrey Bezos. His name
I
is
just totally
Besuz, B-E-S-U-Z.
Uzi, yes, it is. But I liked Bezos better. So hey, yeah. But anyways, he will lead you through the maze of Latenda Bog, and will conveniently wait for you while you go off to kill the dinosaur monitors.
Well, he channels his inner Jarek the Jerk, and just
Yeah,
makes you go do
just
things.
he's like, oh, you kill things, kill the things. I'm not gonna help you. I'll just stand here. You let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, for like a military officer, he has the energy of like a spoiled noble.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
yeah, every time you run into a group of enemies, he's just like, "Oh, the swamp is festering with things," right?
Yeah,
He has a
yeah,
big like Veruca Salt energy.
yeah. And it's like you're Cornin. You're supposed to be like warmongering, not a Vabian.
He's in full
What
armor.
is happening? Yeah. So it's like I don't understand, but okay. So yeah, so he leads us on, which is convenient if you can. So if you don't want to get lost in the Latenda Bog,
You just
yeah,
follow him. Yeah.
you just follow him, and then eventually you will get to War Master, or what was her name, General Kayet.
War Master Grast. He's the real villain here.
Yes,
He's come all the way from pre-searing.
I
Uh,
know.
and you can just like leave Besuz to go do the bonus, and he'll just wait for you.
Yeah,
And when you get
yeah.
back, he's like, "Where the fuck were you?"
You're supposed to be following me.
Yeah, he like gets annoyed with
Yeah,
you. It's funny.
yeah, it's good.
And he
So
will lead us to like a stone compound where Kayet is scheduled to meet with the Corsairs.
yes, and the stone compound is the Sunspear Crypt.
Yes, where I previously went to lead some ghosts back to where they needed to be.
Yes, and why is Kayet there? She's doing some kind of funky ritual stuff.
She is. And he warns us of this before we go in. He's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, before we go in, she's got some quote unusual religious beliefs."
Yeah,
He's like, "Just be
just
cool. Just be cool."
yeah. Don't ask questions.
Literally, he's
Yeah,
just like, "Hey, she's kind of weird. Just deal with that." Um,
right.
and so we go in, and she comes around the corner with like her hounds of hell, which are
Yeah,
the
grasp
grasping
the
demons.
chaos. Yeah,
Yeah, that we experienced before. They're not. They look weird. They look like they have shingles.
yeah. They do. They
They
kind
look.
of do.
They look like they have really bad demon shingles. They're not super intimidating. They're like the size of a dog.
Yeah, pretty much. And Kayet does not recognize us because we were conveniently disguised. So she doesn't recognize us as Sunspears until
Well, she does recognize us as not who she's supposed to be meeting. So she
right,
recognizes us as not Iron Fist.
as not Iron Fist, and she gives Bezos the business for that. But then Talcora gives us away.
Yeah, she straight up blows our cover.
She totally blows our cover. Yeah, she's like, Kayet says, "I'm not here to hand out gold to Iron Fist lackeys," and Talcora takes offense at being called a lackey.
And then she walks
So,
up to Kaya and like sticks her hands in her ears and sticks her tongue out at her.
yeah, pretty
And
much.
waggles her
Yeah.
fingers.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so Kayet's like, "It doesn't matter. Your corpses are gonna keep my secrets, and um, it's not our corpses that are gonna keep the secrets."
We win this fight pretty
We
handily. It's just Kayet
yes,
and the two demons and
yeah.
Besuz, and none of them are
Yeah.
difficult.
No, they're not very
Kayet's
good.
only level 18.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
after Takora blows our cover, she's basically just like, we're gonna get you, right? It's kind of
and
a
your
lame,
little dogs too.
yeah, it's kind of a lame
Mhm.
a lame fight starter. But
Yeah.
we get a cut scene once we've killed everyone, and Kayet is still alive.
Yes.
She tells us, like, basically she's like gargling on her own blood as her
Exactly.
lungs collapse and fill with fluid.
Mhm. Right.
She says we're doomed. We start to question her a little bit. We're like,
Why are you here?
Yeah. We basically ask, why are you here? What are you doing? What's going on? And she says, what does she tell us will happen to us?
She says Abaddon will eat your eyes.
Abaddon. Who's
Yes.
Abaddon?
So, Abaddon, if you don't know, friends, is one of our 5 gods of Tyria, or he's a fallen god, right? He's not
There are
considered
5.
as what.
Yeah, there.
He's not in the pantheon anymore.
No, well, because we're gonna find out what happened to Abaddon throughout the course of the plot of this game. But
Ouch.
he
Yeah.
he is a is your cat attacking you?
No, I hit my toe.
Gotcha. I swing and a miss on me figuring out what was going on. But yeah, Abaddon is one of the beings of the former pantheon, I guess.
Right.
And we got a little bit of information on Abaddon back when we were in the Crystal Desert. So we talked about it a little bit then. But he basically used to be like the god of the sea and the god of secrets.
Yes.
And he's no longer in that role. And nobody really knows why, but we're going to find out.
And here he is being named again, and we're being told that he's going to eat our eyes, which is, rather Oedipus.
And she does say, yeah, it's a disturbing threat.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of foreshadowing tied to that.
Yeah.
So she also says nightfall comes and that we cannot stop it.
Yep.
I have a pop quiz question for you, Miko.
Mm-hmm.
Is Abaddon with 2 B's or 2 D's?
2 D's.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I've been writing it with 2 B's this whole fucking time. Okay. You learn something new every day.
Hey, be happy it doesn't have an straight H in there.
I was gonna say there should be an H in there somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
A B H A D H D O N. No. After Kayet like gives her final gasp and dies, Takora is like, I hope it's all over. I hope that's it. And
we won, right?
Yeah, and our character just kind of like looks at her like, are you stupid?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, dude, we got a whole game to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Takora does mention, because our character basically is like, well, other people might be involved, right? Kayet was talking to Varish. And then Takora is like, oh yeah, I heard them talking together. And
they were talking about Abaddon.
Yeah, because we saw Takora hear them talking together. She's in that cutscene. We don't know who she is then, but she's in that cutscene, eavesdropping.
Right.
And that's kind of where the mission cutscene fades, is us wondering who else might be involved. Takora bringing up Varish. We've learned the name Abaddon. Everyone's talking about Nightfall.
Yep. I think it's go time.
Yeah, it's go time. So that's kind of where we're going to leave it today, is with the conclusion of the Black Tide Den mission. Next time,
yes,
we will be doing something.
Are we going to doing more side quests?
That's a great question.
You just never know. I probably will, because I got to catch up in level now.
I think we're doing consulate docs next.
Oh, consulate docs.
Yeah. It depends on how many side quests that tug on my sleeve.
Sidetracked by.
Well, because here's how doing these usually goes. I usually come up with a main plot plan, and then I start playing the game, and I message Miko and go, I changed my mind. We're doing side quests.
Yes.
And I knew that we couldn't do another full side quest episode, so this episode I made us do the main plot. Stay tuned for whatever we come up with for next episode. It'll be Nightfall stuff, I promise.
Yes. I think we've got lots of Castellan Puba quests coming
Yeah,
up.
somebody did mention when Kormir left, I think either her or Devad mentions that, like, hey, you're going to be seeing a lot of Castle and Pooba.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to do a whole lot for that guy. Jarek's
Mhm.
probably going to be back, right?
Being a jerk.
Yeah, and as is Nightfall is wont to do, some new quests will probably unlock since we've now completed this mission. Maybe we'll check around for a couple of those. What did you think of the content this episode?
It was pretty good. I think getting from not Kormir, but getting answers about what Nightfall is might be coming and bringing, and the danger that it poses, is good.
It's just really bad. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
really
bad
bad
stuff.
shit, man.
Yes, in case you weren't clear, Abaddon bad guy. His
Yeah.
name does spell bad, doesn't it?
Yes.
Sort of.
I liked this mission. It's fun when you get to do like a steal the outfit and do the sneak, right? That's fun.
And we're gonna have more of these.
Yes, there are more of these, and the next one is way better.
Yeah.
The next one is so good, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of those missions where one of us is going to do that one and the other is going to do another thing.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so we might have to split up for that one. But one of us will do it. But yeah, there are more sneaky missions. Those are cool. So stay tuned, guys. Until the next episode, Miko, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Inky Sticks on your Twitters or your Blue Skies. Blue Skies? Yes, Blue Skies.
Blue skies that do not exist where I live, because I live where the sky is perpetually gray and full of moisture.
Precipitation falls out of the sky.
Exactly. Yes. And
Yes.
I have a challenge for all of the viewers this week. The challenge is very
What's
simple.
that? To hit the bell?
The challenge is to hit the bell. It's very easy. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I think those platforms are much better at notifying people of what they actually want to listen to. So as long as you're following us on those, you should be good to go. So follow us on all that stuff, guys. Leave a comment if you have anything to say.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel. That's a good, like, if you're going to hit the bell, I think you have to subscribe to be able to, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I guess me challenging you to hit the bell is assuming you're subscribed, which is an audacious assumption. Subscribe and hit the bell. I'm not going to tell you to smash the like button because that makes me shrivel up and die inside. But if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like. And hey, if you don't like it, you can hit the don't like. You might not be able to see the dislikes, but we certainly can.
Yes.
But there's
You'll make us cry.
There's no reason.
It's all right though.
There's no reason to dislike the video. It's a good video. So with that very, very elongated outro, we will see everybody on the next episode. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.